Jim Boeheim had some ridiculous comments about not only just one and dones, but potentially NBA draftees that go somewhere.
They weren't ridiculous comments.
No, they weren't. From 15 to 20. So here's what he said. If we can pull up the quote, thank you. If you go 15th in the draft, you're nothing. You might be out of the league in 2 years. It used to be a first-round draft pick, you had a chance. That's nothing. Those guys are out of the league. Half the guys taken in the first round the last 3 years are not even in the league. You got to be up in the top 7, 8, 10 picks to make sure you're going to be playing in the NBA.
He's right.
Why is he right?
What his most important point is his last line. First of all, the people who took him, he's being hyperbolic. But mostly what he's saying is you got to be in the top 7, 8, 10 picks to be sure, to make sure you're going to play in the NBA. And that's right. The number of first-round picks who failed outside of the top 15 is an incredibly long list. And to now cherry pick the guys who were taken in the second round, or some 30th picks or 28th picks or 15th picks who succeeded, of course some of them have. But what he's saying is it's not a guarantee. And it's a totally fair point. And we know that we have a large group of college kids every year who have always been the best player in high school, growing up in high school and AAU ball, and then they play in college and they're one of the best players and they're convinced they're going to be the best player in the NBA. And they aren't. And he's saying that might happen. And so his advice would be to stay in school and get better and get stronger. And it's a totally legitimate,
okay, so
it's certainly a legitimate point.
I am going to nitpick. You go 15th in the draft, you're nothing. A few of the names: Steve Nash, Al Jefferson, Larry Sanders, ridiculous contract, but still he's in the league, and Kawhi Leonard, who could have been MVP of the finals last year.
How old's Al Jefferson?
I want to say 28.
Steve Nash is 70. And that doesn't.
But he had a good NBA career.
And Boeheim's point is, it used to be when you were a first-round pick, you'd make it, like when Steve Nash was playing. And Steve Nash went to college for 4 years.
Also, according to Pablo Torre, who was on Olbermann, hat tip to him. Last 7 years, let alone the last 3, the percentage of first-round picks out of the league was 10, not 50. So
yeah, he's being hyperbolic, but the fact is some of those guys aren't really playing. Now, they're making money. If you're a first-round pick, you get a guaranteed 2 years and a good shot at getting that 3rd and 4th year picked up on the team options. And that's money. That's life-changing money. That's maybe, Ed O'Bannon, missed out on huge money, but he was, I think, the 7th pick in the league, and he was terrible. But at least he got those 3 years of whatever that contract was, and that can change your life. So on that's a reason to come out. The reason not to come out is you're not guaranteed of a successful NBA career unless you're one of the top guys drafted.
I guess the only thing, maybe it was included in more of the comments. Maybe he elaborated further. But then I wish he'd have gotten to why this changed outside of just, I don't know if his pitch was to now everyone stay in college longer, because if that was it, that's part of it. Another part of it is we've opened up the NBA draft to European players.
Yeah.
To guys, and we have the DL now. So guys go in there and they end up taking roster spots. So it's just the group of players that you take from the draft is so much smaller because we get it from so many other places now than we used to. So, some of the best players are European, or overseas players, not even just European, from all over the world. So that's part of what's taking a lot of these slots. So maybe these guys got bumped out, they were 15th picks now, would have lasted because, Manu Ginobili came in, and who thought this Argentinian guy was going to do this?
There's a guy who the Bulls drafted, by the way, who is I want to say the Spanish League MVP, Nikola Mirotic. We're waiting to see what he could do. So speaking to your European point, there's a lot of guys who are in Europe who don't even come over right away.
The most important point, the point is a lot of what Boeheim said was wrong. The overall tone, there's a lot to take out of that that's probably right. It's very telling that only 10% of first-round picks are out of the league, because if you're in the league in the last 7 years, your first-round pick, you've made money. And if the whole question here is making money, and that's most of the question, it would be for me. I would make the money. I want to make the money. Yeah. So I understand it.
We're getting to that.
But he's talking about contributing, being effective, playing. A lot of those guys, I'm sure, have been on a number of teams, and they're bouncing. But you get a guaranteed deal, and you might get it picked up.